Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. Only two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the former. I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. You can't blame gravity for falling in love. Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. The only source of knowledge is experience. The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Peace cannot be kept by force, it can only be achieved by understanding. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. The only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? If people are good only because they fear punishment, and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy and creative expression in knowledge. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. All that is valuable in human society depends upon the opportunity for development accorded the individual. Only a life lived for others is life worthwhile. Love is a better teacher than duty. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. There are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle. You can live as if everything is a miracle. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Any man who can drive safely while kissing a pretty girl is simply not giving the kiss the attention it deserves. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right. A single experiment can prove me wrong. Pure mathematics is, in its way, The poetry of logical ideas. Technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. Everyone should be respected as an individual, but no one idolized. The value of a man should be seen in what he gives and not in what he is able to receive. The hardest thing to understand in the world is the income tax. A table, a chair, a bowl of fruit and a violin. What else does a man need to be happy? Before God we are all equally wise, and equally foolish. The gift of fantasy has meant more to me than my talent for absorbing positive knowledge. Intellectuals solve problems, geniuses prevent them. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. A question that sometimes drives me hazy: am I or are the others crazy? He who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead, his eyes are closed. If you are out to describe the truth, leave elegance to the tailor. Our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. The whole of science is nothing more than a refinement of everyday thinking. The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. Put your hand on a hot stove for a minute and it seems like an hour. Sit with a pretty girl for an hour, and it seems like a minute. In matters of truth and justice, there is no difference between large and small problems, for issues concerning the treatment of people are all the same. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. Without deep reflection one knows from daily life that one exists for other people. True religion is real living, living with all one's soul, with all one's goodness and righteousness. Joy in looking and comprehending is nature's most beautiful gift. The distinction between the past, present and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. It is strange to be known so universally and yet to be so lonely. Memory is deceptive because it is colored by today's events. Do not worry about your difficulties in mathematics. I can assure you mine are still greater. Information is not knowledge. Most people say that it is the intellect which makes a great scientist. They are wrong, it is character. The environment is everything that isn't me. The only real valuable thing is intuition. Never do anything against conscience even if the state demands it. A man should look for what is, and not for what he thinks should be. Whoever undertakes to set himself up as a judge of truth and knowledge is shipwrecked by the laughter of the gods. When you are courting a nice girl an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. To raise new questions, new possibilities, to regard old problems from a new angle, requires creative imagination and marks real advance in science.